Well, here we are, guys, for the May Madness, the May Meltdown, whatever you want to call it. For most of the day, we operated under an assumption that Dusty May was probably going to be the next head basketball coach at Louisville. A few hours ago, things started to look a little more iffy. And now here, just after 10 p.m. Eastern, Adrian Wojnarowski from ESPN tweets that he's headed to Michigan. Rick Bozich, this is Rick Bozich here, Tyler Greever. I'm Eric Crawford, WDRB Sports. Rick, what are your thoughts as you heard the news?
Yeah, I'm surprised. I went to Bloomington on Saturday afternoon to watch the IU women play, but I also went in part to go up there because I know Dusty May has a bunch of fans, friends, and people he used to work with. And the people that I talked to thought he was going to go to Louisville. But in the end, a bit of a thunderbolt. And I think one thing that needs to be, I think was a big factor is that Michigan is a Nike school. Dusty is a client of Clutch Sports, which is also with LeBron, and they have a strong connection with Nike, and they're an Air Jordan school too. And in the end, I think the Big Ten money and the Big Ten prestige won out. Yeah,
Tyler, it's we go through what we go through. I've always threatened to write a book of the stories I've written that they threw away. But it is rather stunning to have this kind of happen. This is not normal, and you've been here a few years covering Louisville, and you haven't ever seen anything approaching normal. What's going through your mind right now?
Let's put it this way: I went to Bachfest earlier today and went to a crawfish boil, and I was like, "Yeah, something weird's probably going to happen because it's Louisville," and I'm just like preconditioned to that at this point, but. I'm pretty surprised. I'm going to be honest because this is my opinion. I still believe the ceiling at Louisville was higher than the ceiling at Michigan, and that's an opinion. There's a part of Woj's report that, and I just tweeted this, and I actually kind of want to pose it to you guys because I disagree with it. But Woj says, quote, May became swept away with the alumni network and its fierce loyalty to the university and athletics, sources said. His belief is that will help transcend some of the inherently transactional nature of the modern NIL transfer portal era in recruiting and player retention, unquote. I disagree with him on that. If that is what Dusty May's reasoning is or a major part of it, I disagree with him, but I don't know how you guys feel about that.
No, it's all transactional. That's what it is, and that's what it's going to be. That's what happens when money gets to be involved, and especially with young kids who've never made money before and are getting large amounts of it pretty quickly at the levels that we're talking about with the Michigan or Louisville. That's just going to be the way it is, and he may be in for an awakening there. And the alumni base and all that stuff. That's stuff you put in your brochure for your prospective students, but I don't think any recruits are going to care. Now, you may, your famous alumni, that's good. The LeBron connection with Adam Miller, maybe there's something there, but no, I don't think the vast alumni base at Michigan is going to make anything more warm and fuzzy for players. But Michigan's gotten a good coach, and honestly, Dusty May is a good fit at Michigan. He's a Big Ten guy. Yeah, the manager for Bob Knight, all that stuff I get. I don't know how he would have fit here. It would have been fun to find out. I think he would have done a good job here, but now Louisville's looking elsewhere. Quick thing, Rick, you and I both. I mean, this is not. I don't know what the reality of this is. They may get as good a coach, may get a better coach, may not, but the optics of it are not good. Now you've gone after, at least in public reports. Scott Drew has said no. Now Dusty May publicly has said no. You're talking about on CBS during the NCAA tournament. Doesn't look good.
No, but I guess what you have to look at is there are other schools that have hired their coach that was the second, third, fourth choice, and it turned out okay. Just a few years ago, UCLA, Mick Cronin was the fifth or sixth choice because they got turned down by a bunch of guys. So if you're Josh Hurd, you got to keep moving forward and find a guy. I mean, you have to find a guy who's committed to Louisville and what you're trying to build here. There's a tremendous amount of things to sell here. I wrote earlier this week that I thought Louisville was a better job than Michigan, and I still believe that. You just have to find somebody that also believes it.
Yeah, that's a big key. Real quick, for both of you, what do they do now? What do you think they should do? What would you do if you were an athletic director, Tyler Greever, here at 10:40 at night and your coach just picked Michigan?
Well, I'd probably go back down to Nulu and after Bachfest and maybe hit up Taj or something. But no,
let's go check and see if Josh is there.
No, what I would say is, Eric, you put a name in your story that I think is intriguing, and I'm a little confused as to why people don't think he would do it. If Shaheen Holloway is legitimately interested in coming to Louisville, and I don't know because he has a fierce tie to Seton Hall, and he's already started to do a good job there. I know they missed the tournament, but it wasn't by much. And I like his energy. I like his demeanor. I think he fits a style of basketball that Louisville fans want. And not only that, we're talking about the one box we don't know, and we didn't know here with Dusty, and I actually think we might have gotten the answer here, willing to crawl here. Like, that's what Josh said. Somebody who really wants to be the head coach of Louisville, because make no mistake, when you're the head coach at Louisville, you're you are the most recognizable person here. So you got to live with that and you got to want it. I don't know. I think Shaheen Holloway could do a good job there.
What would you do?
I would go with Mick Cronin. Mick Cronin would be willing to crawl here. I think we've all sensed that all along. He's got roots here and family in Cincinnati. I know the buyout thing is the biggest thing holding that back. But if there's any way you can get through that in any way, I would at least explore that. That's what I would do.
That's an interesting thought. And, we've heard not much talk about Mick here in recent days, when early in the week, he was the guy we were hearing most about, to be honest with you. For a day there, we were hearing more.
I believe for me, there was a hashtag or some sort of something like that.
We revived the hashtag. I think you got to go back to square one at this point, because I don't, Holloway might be good, and he would be interesting if he's really interested. Pat Kelsey, I don't think fires people up. He's a Gaudio Mac disciple, and I don't, he's College of Charleston's good, but it hadn't been, nobody, I have like tickets with that. I think you go back to square one and reevaluate the field. Obviously, I think the value in Mick Cronin is, I don't think he's going to say no. You got to pay a premium, but I don't think he's going to turn you down if you do it right. And that's the key thing with the next one. You can't be turned down a third time, because what does this they say about 3 strikes? You may wind up with Rick Bozich coaching next year, and we don't know how that
third time's a charm, Eric.
Third time's a charm. 3 strikes and you're out, something like that. Been a crazy night, but look, it's Louisville. It's supposed to be crazy. This is where we live. We live in crazy town, so we're used to it. We'll just kind of roll with it and see where the university goes next. We'll all get off here and get on the phones and see what we can learn. But thanks, guys, for joining and staying up late and talking some basketball stuff. We'll be back at it on Sunday.